All right, welcome in. It's time for Total Bases. It's Wednesday, so we've got some day baseball. We cashed a parlay last night. I said we were due for something good to happen in that sort of section. We had a couple 2 of 3s coming into yesterday, and we got it done with the Padres. I had Giants plus 1.5, and leg number 3 was the Cubs. So actually, those two pretty easy. The Padres win 1-0. And I did say for a couple viewers that I would recap where we were at on those. So after the win, we are still sort of negative 4.3. I'll call it units. You could call it, for every dollar. We're still negative 4.3, $4.30 on every dollar. So we got to hit another one today. Shouldn't be too hard, right? This is easy, guys. No problem. We'll find 3 winners today. Bryan Leonard, I'm going to bring you in first. Love the Guardians hat that you've got on right there. That looks like an alternate of sorts. But we're going to start Yankees Red Sox again today. Inconsistent Red Sox last night. TB said it. He thought Heel would pitch well. He did. And the Red Sox bats failed to show up once again. So back to the sort of feature series of the week. Fried Suarez, how you seeing this one?
Yeah, good night for me. 4-0 swept the board. Big underdog in hockey. So, I really liked yesterday's card as the day ended up. You never know at 6 a.m. How it's going to show up. But, I liked the card, and it worked out well. A couple lefties going here, Fried and Suarez. Suarez is actually, if you take a look at in the last couple weeks of pitching, he's ranked number 7 in baseball. He's been on a hot streak. Fried not so. He didn't pitch as well last time out. But we are seeing a couple of lefties here. The bullpens are in pretty good shape for what the bullpens are. And we're getting it. Basically, the Yankees are about a 135, 140, total of 7.5. I would like to play the under because this Boston team is not hitting well, continues to struggle that way. I think Fried's going to come back and pitch a really good game. But Suarez has been high himself. So I'm either going to take a look at the Boston team total under, or I'm going to look for the game under. I wish it was 8. With these two teams in this ballpark, 7.5 is pretty low. So maybe take a look at Boston team total under. But at this point, I've only made a decision on a couple of games so far. This isn't one of them.
Props to you, Tokyo Brandon. You were on the right side of that game yesterday. I actually ended up on the Red Sox. It was my only loss yesterday. I had a nice day too. I went 2-1. Hit 4% play and went 2-1. But my loss was the Red Sox. You made a case for the Yankees. Also, all over heel pitching well. But how much of that was just, the Red Sox, again, bad at bat after bad at bat. It's been their issue, super inconsistent, and it's been more bad than good, something that you've been all over to this point in the season as well.
Yeah, Heels dominated them throughout his career, so that's kind of why I expected that. I had that game. I also had the Cubs, and I also had the Guardians. So I went 3-1 yesterday, so it was a nice day. 5% play out today. There's one spot I really like on the board in MLB. And I put a 5% out in that one. And I also put my pitcher OPS numbers up on my X. So talking about today, Fried and Suarez. Suarez really hasn't been himself. He had a great season last season, but this season I have him ranked pretty mediocre. I got Fried ranked 8 out of 30. And I like the Yankee bats better than the Boston bats, but that Yankee bullpen is really struggling right now. So I don't think I could take them full game the way that bullpen is playing. And Boston's bullpen has been really good. So don't know if I would take the Yankees full game, but I have Fried projected to go 20 outs. So maybe the bullpen won't be such a factor if he pitches those 7 innings as I expect him to. So it would be Yankees or nothing. I haven't played it yet. That's not my 5% play, but winning 2 in a row is hard in MLB, but I think the Yankees can do it.
Tokyo Brandon, that's not my 5% play either, but I do have one as well. I am number 2 in the year of 2026 since January 1st on the site, up like 57 point something units. I don't know who number 1 is. I'm coming for you, whoever you are. It's nothing personal. Not sure who number 1 is, but just know that I'm not happy.
I'm number 4.
See, listen, I mean, that's the thing. Saying number 2, like, you know, when you realize how many people are on the site, it's actually even being 4th is insanely impressive. It's hard to stay up there. You know, so again, whoever number 1 is, just know that I'm on your tail. Hopefully we can stay there. As far as this game is concerned, though, man, you know, this, like, the Red Sox are going to be up against a lefty here, a good one in Fried. Like, kind of go back to what I said about them going into the game against Skubal on Saturday. Like, and then you take yesterday's game where it was just like poor at bat after poor at bat. I don't know if I could back the Red Sox here. The price is I think it's fair. I think it's a fair price. I don't think it's like you're laying like a crazy number to back the Yankees. I also don't know that I could do it myself after being on the Red Sox and losing. That, Bryan Leonard, that's the trig stubbornness factor right there. I can't flip like that. If I was on the Red Sox last night, I simply just cannot turn around and then play the Yankees here unless I had a really, really, really good reason to do so. So I think I'm probably out of this one.
I used to have a friend who every time he lost that team, he goes, "That team's on my list." And by the end of the month, he didn't have anybody to bet on.
Yeah.
So
it's not so much that they'd be on my list, but it's like I made this case for the Red Sox yesterday. So I feel like I got to keep myself a little bit honest and be like, okay, I can't just swing in that other direction today because now I'd probably be paying a premium on the other side. And that's where I'm kind of at right here. Like, I do still think you're maybe paying a slight premium, but then again, Fried is a guy that probably has a premium attached most times he steps on the mound anyway. Yeah. So I think this is one of the more fairly priced games. Hey, Tokyo Brandon's been right on the Yankees pretty much all season. And actually he's been kind of right on the Red Sox too. So maybe you just roll with his opinion there. All right, let's go back to Garth. First of all, shout out to Garth for the donation. Shout out to Garth for another winner in the chat. His team total under last night was the win. I can't believe what I'm witnessing right now with the Mets, Bryan Leonard. It's almost like it's more mental than ability based at this point. Garth says, I've got a season-long bet of longest losing streak over 12.5. Do I hedge with Mets money line tonight or just let it ride with a lot of season left? Wow. That is a great question and a tough call because you have a lot of season left. It's hard to lose 13 in a row, so who knows if you'll get in the position again. But to hedge, the Mets are still a pretty big favorite tonight. That's like kind of my mind is in a little bit of a pretzel on this one, Bryan Leonard. But go ahead to talk about Mets Twins, but also talk to Garth about his question.
Yeah, most of the time when you've got a team on a 12-game losing streak, they're not going to be a 150 favorite. 150 favorite means you got a 60% chance of winning. This is actually slightly higher than that. So they probably consider it to be like a 61% chance of winning. I think the reason not to do it is because it is a long season and you've got a lot of bad teams out there. In the second half of the season, a lot of teams start to sell. We saw that out of the Minnesota Twins in the recent past. So I just let it ride at this point. But hey, it's not my money; it's his money. But congratulations either way, and hopefully it works out for you. I do have somewhat of an interest in this game. I did watch the Mets game yesterday, and when the starting pitcher was pulled out of the game, he thought he had the win, and it fell apart for him. And he's in the dugout, and he's like staring straight ahead, like, "What the hell just happened?" That's the way the Mets have been playing. It's like anything that can happen. I said that the other day. I said anything that can happen will right now. It's one of those deals. Holmes is a decent pitcher. He's okay. This Prelep for Minnesota, he's a lefty. The Mets have not hit lefties this year, but they've not hit righties either. So I believe their WRC plus is 80, regardless of who the starting pitcher is. But Minnesota, a lot of people thought they'd bring up some of their bigger name guys from the minors. No, they decided to bring him up. And from everything I have read, they like him. And he is a lefty. And if you've followed me over the decades, you know when I bring up a lefty that nobody knows anything about, they have a lot of success. And I usually like to ride them until they lose. The first game, I've gotten a lot of good 6-7 game winning streaks by betting on unknown lefties when they enter the major leagues. And right now, the Mets bats are so confused, they don't even know he's a lefty. They think he's thrown right down the middle from a lefty and a righty. They're really confused right now. Now, they are supposed to get Soto back today. But he has not hit the game in, 3 weeks? So that I don't think that helps him any. Maybe you play the Mets team total under. You play the game team total under. Something to that effect. But I think it'll be a lower scoring game here.
Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to let you speak to Garth's question, which I'll pull back up on the screen, and also talk Mets Twins while I figure out exactly what the Twins are doing with their pitching. Because I've seen a couple of different options, but I want to see if Brian's right because it makes a huge difference. So go ahead on Twins Mets TV.
Sure. So you guys are looking at 3 of the best cappers at WagerTalk. Brian is the all-time winningest baseball capper, and he went 4-0 yesterday. Adam's number 2 in 2026. I'm number 1 among 33 cappers 3 of the last 5 years. So pick 2 of us. You can't go wrong with a double play in baseball. So double play 3 days for 2 of us. It's a great deal. You can't go wrong. Adam and I both have a 5% play out today as well. So let's get to this. Garth, I would hedge that if I were you. I know Brian says ride it out. I would hedge it. I think the Mets are going to stop their streak today. I think Minnesota is kind of handing this to them on a silver platter by starting a pitcher that, sure, I'm sure they like him, but when a guy makes his very first MLB start, he's either going to get smashed or he's going to go 6 innings scoreless, right? So I think the Mets can turn it around. Nobody's going to lose 160 games, so they're going to win a game. And to me, it looks like the stars are aligning for the Mets. I like Clay Holmes, and actually the Mets bullpen, despite them being completely in disarray, the bullpen's performing somewhat okay compared to the Twins bullpen, which I have ranked 23 out of 30. So, and I got Clay Holmes on a curve of 30, ranked 10. So he's in the top 1/3 of starting pitchers in MLB, according to my rankings. So if they're going to turn around, I think today is the kind of day where the stars align. I'm not going to bet it, but if you can cash out to take 80% of your profit today, I would certainly cash out and get 80% of my profit there and give 20 to the house. That's how I would do it. I think the Mets are going to turn it around today.
I'm on Twins Twitter just trying to confirm what's going to happen here.
They say it's going to be, what's his name? Prelip?
Connor Prelip.
Prelip? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Connor Prelip. He is nasty. He pitched. So last week, the St. Paul Saints, if you have my all access package, you bet on this. We bet on Prelip, followed by Kendry Rojas last week. That was like literally the entire handicap was that those were going to be the 2 pitchers. They shut down Lehigh Valley. Prelip looked awesome. I actually think I mentioned to a friend, I said, don't be surprised if one of my buddies is in like a deep fantasy league. I think Brian kind of does these deep leagues, and it's like he always needs to know who the next guy is. And I texted him, I was like, I had what you had. You're in the back of my mind, Brian, like with the Twins not wanting to rush certain guys up. But I was like, man, I feel like he forced their hand here. 8 strikeouts over 5 innings was just awesome. And then Rojas is a guy that they got, I believe, from the Blue Jays organization in one of those trades, one of the a million trades that they've made in the last year. And he's looked really good. He actually came in, I can't remember if it was behind Prelip or the next day, and threw like 6 shutout innings. Again, at AAA, it looks to me like they might piggyback them today. That's what I think they're going to do, where they start with Prelip, let him go, bring Rojas in, let him go. That is probably better than like what the Twins have been doing with like their bullpen lately. If they can get like 3 or 4, it almost reminds me of when Braxton Ashcraft was called up last year, and I think they might have piggybacked him with Chandler. And it's like, think about how ridiculous that is in hindsight. Like, if you knew what you know now, knowing you were going to get like 4 from Ashcraft, 4 from Chandler, like you'd probably be pretty interested in betting the Pirates in that game. I don't know if I'm dying to bet the Twins here. Like, I do think the Mets probably get one very soon, but I don't want to bet against that, especially not at this price. Brian, you're nodding. Go ahead.
Yeah, a couple things I want to touch on. First of all, the wind's blowing directly in Citi Field today. They're expecting 20% less runs than normal. Also, the Mets have not faced a left-handed starter in at least the last week. And that's why I like to play lefties, is because they're not seen as often. And they haven't seen a lefty starter in at least 7 days, and that's as far back as the side I look at goes. So, there's got to be an under here somewhere, and we just need to figure it out.
So I'm also seeing, so the Twins made the move to put Kendry Rojas on the roster. Okay. They also added Royce Lewis. So Royce Lewis is probably back today as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know if, I feel like the Twins have been happy with their lineup. I don't know if he just slots right in there, but they activated him as well. Rojas is also a lefty. So what you're talking about here is if they go pre-lip to start, I thought they might start Rojas. If they go pre-lip and then go pre-lip Rojas, that's back-to-back lefties that the Mets have never seen. So if you don't like the Twins on the side, like maybe another team total under for the Mets, I kind of with Brian. That's going to be tough. They've never seen either of these guys. Pre-lip looked awesome in his last couple starts for St. Paul. There is some value here on the Twins, I think. I don't know. Brian, do you have anything to add before we move on to the next game?
No, it makes a lot of sense to me. Yes, I originally thought after the way the game ended yesterday that maybe this would be the day for the Mets. I don't want to lay that number for the Mets, so I won't be on the Mets. I know that. Garth,
I know. Listen, I know Garth from the basketball show. He's in there every day. Don't hedge that. Don't hedge that. It's April 22nd. No hedge. I kind of get like, not just from this game, but like Brian said, you're going to get to the deadline. There's going to be someone chilling there with like 11 straight losses. That's like out of it at some point. You'll have another chance. If you don't get it here, you'll have another chance. Tokyo Brandon, we got to get you back in here. Russell Deck says, Trig, I hope we can talk Orioles, Royals. It's a day game today. He loves the over. He wants to hear our opinion. So start us off, Orioles, Royals. That's this afternoon at Kauffman Stadium.
So, yeah, we got Waka going again and our guy, the Bassett. So, if you take a look at my Twitter X, you'll notice that these two pitchers rank rather highly in their matchups today. Now, again, there is a caveat to my OPS numbers when I put them out. If a guy is 30 years old, some of those numbers could be from 8 years ago, so they're absolutely irrelevant. Generally, when I'm doing my capping, I really only consider the last 2 years. Because 3 years ago, you could be a different pitcher from 3 years ago. But the numbers do mean a little bit. And that's the main reason why I bet the Yankees and Heel yesterday, is because of his career numbers against the Boston batters that he's facing. So there's something to be said about that. The Royals bats, horrible. They're worse than the Red Sox right now. Got them ranked 28. Got the Orioles ranked 20. So both bats are slightly under average, but man, that Orioles bullpen, they're playing well. They're playing really well right now. But the Royals bullpen is not. Starting pitcher, I got Royals. So actually, it's kind of zigging, zagging. One team's doing great at one thing. The other team's not doing great at the other. The team with the good bullpen is facing the team with the poor lineup. The team with the better starter, in my opinion, I think Waka's a better starter than Chris Bassett. But the better starter is backed by the worst lineup. Bassett's got poor control, walking way too many guys. Waka has got really good control so far this season. Got him ranked pretty high, number 6 on a curve of 30. Hard to pick a side in this one. I don't know if I would go over. So yeah, I'm kind of in a quagmire on this one, but those are my numbers. I think the pitchers will probably both have a pretty decent game, though.
Bryan Leonard, I'm not really in love with either bullpen here. I don't think either. The Royals coming into the season, I thought the bullpen was probably going to be their strength. Just looking at their roster, I felt like that was, that was probably one of their most redeeming qualities. Did not think that with the Orioles. I think I've said a couple of times that they just don't have a deep sort of stable of relievers, but both are kind of used up here. Does that creep into your handicap of this game at all?
Yeah, it does. Neither one of the 8th and 9th inning guys will be available for either team. They've both gone the last 2 days. That shortens what I consider questionable bullpens anyway. The wind is blowing out to Kauffman Stadium. Medium breeze out there. They're expecting 6% more runs, 15% more home runs, which is, you could pretty much tell, as I've talked about in the past about the Cubs, where their line is. You rarely see a 9.5 in Kansas City here. So you know that something's going on unless the pitchers are really bad, which they're not. They're decent pitchers. I'm not as big a fan of Bassett as I am of Walker, but I think the line is basically what I would make it here. I prefer Walker. I don't want to lay that number. Maybe you look for something to play live after Walker gets knocked out of the game and play the over live or something to that effect, because like I said, I don't want to trust either one of these bullpens here. And I know they haven't gotten off to great starts hitting wise, but both these teams have some good young players. It's going to eventually turn around. Does it do it today? Who knows? But I'm probably not going to get involved in this one.
TB, you make a good point. The Orioles, I'm more or less projecting when I say the Orioles have a poor bullpen, because to this point they've been very good. I mean, you have Helsley's thrown the ball well, Rico Garcia's thrown the ball well. Anthony Nunez had a really good year at Norfolk for most of last year. He's looked great. Sub 2 ERA so far. He's been one of their sort of like most consistent, like reliable guys. I think he's made like 11 appearances already this year. So it's a good point. Like we're now toward the end of April. Like they have been pretty good to this point. That being said, I don't think this is a great spot for the bullpens today. And I think I'd probably lean toward the over, but I lean Royals, lean over, but I don't know how super confident I am in either of those.
Lean on me.
All right. And I do think like I could do a whole maybe 20-minute segment about how Michael Wacha is probably underappreciated in his career. Guys,
we spoke on that earlier.
Shows up every year and throws it well. Yep. Interesting question here, TB. I'm going to go to you for this one. This is not a game, but this is more of a general handicapping approach, and there's room for that on this show, especially when you donate. So shout out City by the Bay. Appreciate the donation. TB, to you first, and then we'll go around the horn. He's saying, when he says have you, so has any of us, or you in particular, tweaked your MLB handicapping approach at all this season? Anything standing out that's impacting how you are betting games, maybe different to last year? Any tweaks you've made? TB, we'll start with you first.
Yeah. So this is the best time of the season because, we're trying to beat the books. Okay. So we're not trying to beat each other. We're trying to beat the books. And so seeing how the books react and how the books are pricing certain pitchers and pricing certain teams and seeing if they change as the season progresses is what I'm most interested in. So we've gone, 3 weeks into the season, maybe we're into the 4th week or something like that. So now we can see if the books have that buy, because at the beginning of the season, they're just playing guessing. We don't know, if Woodruff is going to be a stud right out of the gate. We don't know. So they're kind of guessing the numbers, but at the end of April, there's no more guessing. You kind of know what you're dealing with here, and the numbers get a lot tighter. So I like to look at who the books are favoring for no reason. Like, for example, the books hate Miami, but Miami's hitting really well. The books hate Washington, but Washington's hitting really well. So you can steal some money by betting Washington's team total in the first 5 because they're priced 1.5 every single day, but they shouldn't be. So I like, at this time of the season, I like to see if the book how the book adjusts. And so the book really likes certain pitchers. They really hate certain pitchers. So this time of the season, to me, is the best time to see if the books are adjusting or not. And they're not on certain pitchers.
Yeah, what Tokyo Brandon has just explained right there is just the book shading lines a certain way. You should always be trying to oppose that when you can. Brian, what about you? Any changes you've made so far in the early going?
Not really. There's some teams coming into the season, the Mets, that I thought were going to perform better than they have. Most of what I do is I'm a value handicapper. If I could have had, for example, if there's a team I like and they've lost a couple games, I try to think of what the line would be 2 games ago, 3 games ago, a week ago, that kind of thing compared to now. Am I getting value on that? Because every team goes through ups and downs all season long. You don't want to think all of a sudden, unless you see like a starting pitcher has a new pitch or something to that effect, you've got to look at the long term a little bit more than like the casual bettor does. The casual bettor says, hey, the Mets have lost 11, 12 games in a row. I want to find a way to bet against the Mets. Where I look at it, I go, the Mets are not playing well, but there's no value on betting against the Mets because everybody knows the Mets are playing well. And by the way, for anybody who is contributing to to this, it's not going to us. Anytime you make a donation, it goes to charity. Johnny and everybody in Detroit, they are big on charity. So yeah, as much as we appreciate it, it's great for the company. It's great for you. It makes you feel good that you're donating to charity. Makes us feel good that you enjoy our show. And yeah, it's nice of you to do that. And I appreciate the guys who do it often. Thank you so much.
Make no mistake about it. We're trying to beat the other shows for sure. We want to out donate. We want to out earn in donation whatever other shows are on the network. There's still got to be a little bit of competition here. TB's nodding his head.
Especially when they don't have us on the other shows, right?
Yeah.
I'm the most competitive.
So
that's why everyone hates me because I'm so competitive.
I will answer the question before we move on to a different game. I always look for something that changes, right? Like how can I sort of like reframe the thought around like a rule change, or like Tokyo Brandon had a really good one prior to the season, World Baseball Classic. You throw in a month of like competitive games for some of these guys, it's going to throw things off. I think it's the reason the Royals have struggled to this point, because the Royals had a ton of guys, not only in the World Baseball Classic, but that played big parts for different teams and played a lot. Like they were in high pressure game after high pressure game, Bobby Witt being one of them. And it does not surprise me at all that the Royals have just looked like lethargic so far this season. The other one I talked about last week was the ABS. Non-competitive pitches are up. Why is that? Well, you have an automatic strike zone now. So pitchers have become more comfortable throwing, not living in the zone, because they know they're going to get a borderline call if their catcher challenges and they actually hit a strike. So those are two things. And for me personally, and then we'll move on, I've tightened up my number parameters significantly, where it's like, the range in which I expect, which I need like the actual number from my number to make a play. I've tightened that up. I think it's helped me to this point. So yeah, it was a good question. And I don't mind spending time on that. And listen, if you donate to the show, we're going to talk about whatever you want. So appreciate you, City by the Bay. City by the Bay is one of our guys from College Hoop. I know he's a big College Hoop guy, and love seeing him in the chat. Love seeing all you guys in the chat. Hop in the comments on the replay. The replay is always on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, and we'll hop in there if we missed a game or if you've got a specific question. We will hop in there. Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to you real quick. AB covers. Says, man, that first 5 Washington Nationals over continues to print money. My question is, does it continue to print today? Braves Nationals to you.
So today the Braves are going with Martin Perez, Brian's favorite guy. No, Brian actually was the only guy among us who had confidence in him, and he won his bet on him last time. But you're right. Washington's team total first 5 has been printing money. I have Washington ranked I have Washington ranked. Actually, their bats have cooled off a little bit. I got them ranked 15 out of 30 in current form. But in the beginning of the games, they do come out with a punch. I don't think that's going to change here with Martin Perez. Perez had a wonderful game last game. What did he give up? 1 run or no runs in 6 or something? He was really good his last start out. But man, Washington's bats are pretty powerful. I think they can cash this. Another thing that prints money is a bet and over every time Roki Sasaki pitches. That's been printing money as well. So yeah, there's a couple of things that are printing money that the books haven't caught up on.
Brian, something, and this will just sort of tie into the last topic, but also in this game. Something I like to look at that I don't think the books look a ton at are when there is a front office overhaul. You sort of nailed the one a couple of years ago with the Marlins, right? Mm-hmm. Like front office overhaul, and suddenly they're doing things differently. Well, the Nationals had that in the offseason. And one of the things that they really sort of talked about and stressed was they said, this organization has rushed way too many guys to the big leagues over the last couple of years. Now, the counter to that is, well, when you're 30 games under 500, you just kind of throw guys in the bigs. That's what you do. Like, you want to see what you've got. You want to see if your prospects are good. So the Nats, though, made a big time point in the offseason to like evaluate their talent and say, okay, these are big leaguers. These are guys we think are at AAA, and we're not going to move them around. Like Dylan Cruz, sorry, you're back at AAA for the foreseeable future. Harry Ford, we know you were close with the Mariners. Sorry, you're going to stay at AAA. I kind of think they've gotten it right to this point. With the big league lineup, and someone in there is like, Trig, your boy James Wood is crushing. Yeah, he's a big leaguer, right? CJ Abrams, big leaguer. Obviously, we knew that, but they like Brady House. Like, I think their talent evaluation has been good to this point, and that's why they've been better than the market. What do you have to add to that?
Yeah. First of all, Rocky Sasaki, the only person that doesn't know he sucks is the manager of the Dodgers, as Roberts continues to give him opportunities. But
he's good for 1 inning.
Yeah, the Dodgers had that ability because they're going to win the division by 30 games. So you can do that. The Washington team total right now is in the first 5 is 2.5. And if you bet over that, you're getting plus money. I could see that as a good bet. Washington, we all know the Dodgers crush lefties. They've done it all year long. The Dodgers have a WRC plus of 143 against lefties. Who's number 2? The Washington Nationals, 133. They crush lefties. As much as I like betting on, did I just see a pitching change in Atlanta? I'm seeing
possible. Is it going to be? Yeah. Okay. So that changes things. I know that they So that we gotta talk about that. So that's Didier Fuentes. Brian, go ahead, talk about him.
Well, I wanted to take Washington in the first 5 against the lefty, but now they've got Fuentes in there, and it changes the whole handicap. So ignore what I had said earlier. Fuentes is a guy that throws fire. He's a righty. So I'll pass on this for now because that one just came up, and I don't want to waste any more time.
I gotta throw my 2 cents in real quick on Fuentes. The Braves called him up last year as like a 19-year-old. He was not ready. I even commented on this show. I said, guys, they put a 19-year-old at AAA for 1 start. They're just going to throw him out there. We were all over that. He got crushed in the big leagues last year when they called him up. Totally unfair. Wasn't ready. Wasn't his time. He goes back down. Now this year he gets a whole offseason to work, rebuild his confidence. He actually pitched well at AAA when he got back there last year. He's been incredible at Gwinnett so far this year. I think he's absolutely ready. Though you are right, the Nationals are set up to have success against right-handed pitching. They are left heavy, and their guys hit lefties like collectively 1 through 9. They're better against right-handed pitching. I think they're in for a rude awakening when they see Fuentes here. He's looked so good in the minors. I feel like he's going to deal. I couldn't bet against the Braves today. Yeah,
it's Diddy Party Fuentes. Sounds good.
Listen, I mean, you want to take a flyer on some like pitching props? Take some Fuentes over props. It's probably going to be priced incorrect. Someone asked about props in the chat. I would just take a flyer on his props. He's been pitching deep into games at AAA. His stuff is really good. Like if he comes out and throws 5 solid innings, he's probably going over his strikeouts. He'll probably go over his outs. I don't think the market, like, I think they're going to price him based on what he did last year at the big league level, not like what he's done since. Brian shaking his head.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people since spring training lauding on him. I don't think you're going to get a bargain.
No, I don't think you're going to get a bargain on the Braves, but you don't think you might get like outs over strikeouts? You think those are going to be priced correctly when they get posted? I mean, I could be wrong about that.
Well, we don't know how long he's going to go for, so we'll know more. This just all popped up.
I'm confident he's going for his full start because it would have been because he got pushed back. He would have pitched yesterday, I think, for win it, but they had Strider there on rehab, so they just put Strider in his spot. And this will be a full start for him. It's not like a relief appearance. Like he's going the full distance.
Yeah, I didn't know if he's going 5 innings or if they're going to try to stretch him out to 7.
No, but it's his game. It's his game. He's been fine at AAA. He's pitched normal games. It's his game. I like anything Didier Fuentes over. That I'll put my name on that right here. Brian, I'll go to you. Do you know what you want to use? What game you want to use for the parlay?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit close on time, so I'll just go back to the game that I was looking at before with the Twins and the Mets. I'm going to play the Mets team total under 4.5 at -140. I just don't. I think going against the lefties first time out there. I think they're grading Soto to be his normal self. I don't see that in his first game back. And I don't trust the Mets bats. So, we'll go with the Mets under the 4.5 and -140, and that'll be my play on the show today.
Beautiful. TV, have we covered your parlay leg yet?
We have not. Right.
Tell us what game we're talking about.
Sure will. Before I do that, 5% play out today, guys, in MLB. I'm sure Adam has one too. So go grab that. So I'm going to go with Seattle here. I really like the matchup, Gilbert versus Savali. And if you look at my Twitter X, the pitcher OPS matchups today, Gilbert ranks very high on that list and Savali ranks very low on that list. So I like the pitching matchup. Seattle's bullpen has been pretty trashy lately, so that's a little bit of a worry, but I am projecting Gilbert to go 18 innings, so the bullpen will be less of a factor, and Seattle's hitting a little bit better, but neither team's actually crushing it, so it could be a low-scoring game, but Seattle's a team I would love to play first 5 here, but for the parlay leg, I'll just go full game. I think it's -190 is what I was seeing.
Yeah, I can't argue there. I mean, the only issue I have with the Mariners is you're being asked to lay a pretty big price. I think they're still quite inflated, but if you want, if you're just talking about picking, for throwing in the parlay, I have no problem with it. If you're just talking about picking a winner, Brian, the Mariners have to start ripping off wins at some point. Like I'm still in on this team. I think it's just been a slow April.
Yeah, very unlucky team. I do want to point out since they've called Fuentes instead of Perez, the line's up about a nickel so far. So the betting public wants to bet Fuentes. So if you do like Atlanta, grab it now because once it gets out there, it's probably going to close about 150, 155.
Yeah. So Mariners A's to you because we do have time. What anything else on this game for you?
Yeah, I faded Savali last time out. I just talked about earlier. A guy gotten off to a pretty good start for really no reason, and we've seen him in the past, so we faded him last time. I'd fade him again here. It's tough to lay the 180 on a team like Seattle that is somewhat like the Mets, where they continue to find ways to lose. But if I'm playing it, I want to find a way to play Seattle and either a team total, something to that effect. But I don't want the A's here with Savali on the mound.
Yeah, that's a consensus across the board agreement. You couldn't get me on the A's in this game. I like the Mariners too. I like Gilbert. Don't like Savali. Brian, what do we have? Do you have a price for that Mariners game? Is it minus 180? Is that fair?
Yeah, I'm saying pretty well.
190, I saw.
I'm seeing 181 to 195. So 190 is probably.
We'll call it one. Okay, yeah, I would call it 185. I saw some in that range too. Again, shop around. Brian, what money line do you have for the Atlanta Braves right now?
Right now, I'm seeing 140 to 154 out there. Basically, 145 is the consensus.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Braves. I think you said it was only a nickel move at this point. Mm-hmm. I think it should be more than that. A 0.84 WHIP at AAA this year for Fuentes, 20 strikeouts in 16 2/3. Remember, he made his big league debut last year, so it's not like it's not like he's coming up for his debut. He got crushed. He got absolutely crushed in the big leagues. And also, one other thing that I think is worth noting, he's been up so far this year. He started the year with the team, threw one outing out of the bullpen because they needed him. They needed another pitcher. Pitched well, actually, 4 innings of one-run ball against the Royals. Since then, and the reason that I don't think there's any issue with last start at Nashville, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, shutout. And then over the weekend, or 2 starts ago, then he faced Memphis, was a little bit unlucky. He went 7 innings, but I think they kind of maybe left him in a little bit too long. Still only gave up 4 runs, 5 strikeouts. Guys are hitting $151 against him in the minors this year, and he has a 0.84 WHIP. So I will put Braves money line in the parlay. You said, Brian, what did you say? Minus 140?
145.
Minus 140, 145. Yeah, that should be more than that. They come off of an 11-4 loss last night. Kind of like them to bounce back here.
Mm-hmm.
We
Can
have
I just throw a little bit of betting advice out?
We've got a couple minutes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Just throwing it out. It's a game we haven't covered, but we don't have to cover it. But Ohtani's pitching today, and like Brian wisely said in a couple shows ago, the Cy Young Award is the only thing he has not accomplished in his decorated career. So he definitely needs to go 6 innings to get these wins because he's only pitching once a week. So if his outs prop is 17.5 outs, an over bet on that would be a very wise bet, in my opinion. It could be 18.5. I wouldn't do 18.5. Just throwing that out. Betting advice.
Let's talk about that game. We've got time. Brian, Dodgers Giants to you. Do you have any rebuttal to that?
No, had the Giants. I loved that spot for him yesterday and took the 1.5. Didn't need it. And the Dodgers, first game out of Colorado, the offense struggled. Now they're a little bit more settled. I like Molly, but he's so inconsistent right now, and his injury problems. I can't consistently back him. I'm not going to lay the 215 with Ohtani. So maybe you get Ohtani to get the victory, something to that effect to lower that a little bit. But like the Dodgers here, but don't want to lay that 220 or whatever line that's out there right now.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this one. The spot for the Giants was last night. It was my parlay leg on the show. They get the win. I don't know if I necessarily want to bet against them right now because I like like I said, I like the vibes with that team. Felt like they were really enjoying themselves over the weekend. And I think that's going to matter for them because they very much have a vibes manager, right? Like he's a energy guy. Mm-hmm. He's trying to just I think they could roll a little bit when the things are rolling good. And then they might be a team when the things are not going good that lose a few games in a row, kind of like we saw them to open the season. So you're basically getting plus 1.5 again with the Giants. I think at plus 105. But I'm with you, TB. I think Ohtani's going to come out and shove. I think that's what he's going to do. Anytime he steps on the mound. And the Giants are notable though. They are better against right-handed pitching. Their splits are better against right-handed pitching. So do what you will with that.
Sorry to interrupt. Not a big data sample size, Ohtani versus Giants. So we can't really read that.
but it's almost like one of those things where if Ohtani's like on, does it even matter? Right? Like, if he's on, does it even matter? That one, it'll be an interesting game, but I think Brian made the best point there. If you really like the Giants, the spot was yesterday. It'd be tough. It'd be tough to come back with them today if you didn't bet it yesterday. Let's put it that way. If you want to like sort of, go the house money route, that's different. But if you didn't bet the Giants yesterday, I think you missed the good spot to do so. All right. Couple good spots for the three of us tonight. I know Tokyo Brandon and I both have 5% plays. Brian, do you have anything going in the NHL playoffs again tonight?
We won yesterday on the Boston Bruins. I have not put out any plays in anything as of yet, but they will be out today. There is, keep in mind, there is a few day games today. So it's yesterday we were blessed with a full night slate. But to keep that in mind when you're making the plays, that there is some day games today.
Well, we do have a 3-teamer. We hit yesterday. If we can hit this one, we'll probably be pretty close. There is some juice in this one, but we'll be pretty close to even if we can cash this. Tokyo Brandon is going with the Mariners on the money line, -185. I'm going to go with the Braves on the money line, -145. And Bryan Leonard is going with the Mets team total under 4.5. That's -140. That's today's parlay, and that's today's show. The three of us. Actually, tomorrow, Brian, you're in the air tomorrow, right?
I am traveling tomorrow. I won't be here. Good luck to everybody, and we'll see you on Friday in that regard.
Hopefully you don't get trapped at customs. I know you got an international flight going.
I'll have to wear a disguise.
Yeah. Bobby Valentine style. Yep.
So
it'll just be me and TV tomorrow.
Don't let them know who you are, Brian. They won't let you in.
Jealous. Brian will be at the Rogers Center at some point this weekend for that. That'll be a fun series. Guardians, Jays. And yeah, like I said, again, the three of us will be back on Friday. Tokyo Brandon and I will be here to hammer home the Thursday slate with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then don't forget about Total Basis every Saturday now, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Have a great day. Check out the double play package. We'll see you guys in the morning.